What is the future of parks? This is a question I've asked myself often. With Star Wars Rise of the Resistance in Disneyland showing technological innovations that are very hard to top, where will it go from here? Well, when I continue to think about this question, I imagine a world where technology continued getting better and better till the rides and sets just became more realistic, which is easy to assume. As tech gets more advanced, we will simply be placed in more realistic environments. But even with these improvements, I believe Disney and other parks are missing out on some core problems with theme parks they are not hinting at changing anytime soon. First of all, a key problem I find with parks is money. Not in general, though. Parks by nature are expensive, but rather the stress of making all those purchases, little and large. Sure, you have the park and a plane ticket, but the stress of buying food, stroller rentals, locker rentals, and all sorts of annoying payments is difficult. It is hard for guests to know just how much they will actually spend, causing lots of stress in the happiest places on earth. Second, the illusion of realism. I want to mainly point towards Disney on this one, who actually does this really well, but I believe they are missing out on an important aspect which can take this to the next level. Sure, it's important to realize that Disney's general audience is kids and families who want to have fun together, but I believe there's an untapped market for people who want to be thrown into a truly realistic experiences. For it to be truly realistic, I feel that not only should you have positive experiences, but also negative. For example, at Disneyland, when you go on the Matterhorn, you don't feel the frigid cold of the mountains, or when you go in Adventureland, you don't need to walk on the jungle muddy paths of the Amazon rainforest. You just experience the good parts of those places. And I feel like bringing some negative experiences to such an adventure could make the experience seem more realistic. Finally, life is chaotic, and I feel like at Disneyland and other parks, you always know that there's places you should be and there's places you shouldn't be. You are always being forced to follow paths and act like everyone else. And sure, you may ask, how do you solve a problem like this? There will always have to be paths or boundaries and stuff like that. And I agree, but I think that making a theme park open world with no paths and just walking to an attraction any way you want could make the experience feel a lot more real and personal. So, how does one make a park that fixes these problems? I believe I have a certain concept that I hope that future park designers use in the future. Now, the idea of what I call an adventure park is simple. You don't feel like you are being controlled, but you are given the illusion of freedom and choice. The park isn't trying to sell you a story like other theme parks, but rather you feel like you are creating your own story. You have complete freedom to go wherever you want and discover what you please. For example, opposed to being told you need to break this guy out of prison or find this treasure, you are told you can choose to break this guy out of prison or just do whatever you want. Doing this will give the participants of this park, but at the same time you are also experiencing such things as like physical endurance and negative experiences to make it seem more realistic. A real life example of this is a park that I have in development right now. I have been working on drawings, maps, and schematics in school, and I'm currently working on a 3D model. I have learned a lot from this experience on mapping, modeling, and even math, and enjoying it. I don't have any drawings and stuff with me right now, but in the next video, I hope to show you what I have done and what I hope to get completed in the future. Finally, I want to say that I feel like a park like this does appeal to a lot of what humans want. In a world where exploration and discovery is disappearing, I feel like people need a place where they feel like they're valued and wanted through the stories they make themselves. Imagine going to a park and feeling like you're in an unmapped world with new opportunities and new goals. It can fulfill that feeling of the world's all been discovered and I can't have any significant meaning. This can solve that problem temporarily and give you a sense that you are important and there are things out there you can explore and discover yourself. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.